Hi everyone, so this is an exciting one. I am so chuffed about this kaftan right here. So it's very flowy, it's comfortable, it's easy to wear, and it's also easy to sew. So if you would like to make this, stick around and let's get going. Okay, so I've got 2 meters of fabric and which is already folded into 4. So you can see the folded side and also the other side. So if you want to just go ahead and use the and fold your fabric into 4 and ready to start. So at the top I'm just going to a section of 1 inch, which is going to form my starting point, and that's where all the measurements will start from. So now on the folded side, that's going to be my neckline. So for the back, it's going to be 1 inches in depth and 3 inches wide, and then just connect the two lines together in a curve. So, and then for the shoulder, so my normal shoulder measurement is 7 plus additional 7 for this the sleeve length. So to get your sleeve length, you want to measure from your center back to where you want your sleeve to be to get your sleeve length. And also the arm opening here I'm going to be using is 11 inches. So depending on how wide you want your armholes to be, that's what you should use. So now from the center front to the sleeve length, I have a total width of 17 inches. So that's the width I'm going to be making use of. So now when you go to the armhole area, you want to come in by, you want to just square off that line like so. So from the armhole opening measurement, you want to come down about 3 inches from that point, and then you want to come in by 16 inches on the width of the fabric. So that's going to be 1 inch less of the 17 inches. So you make a point there as well. So this is the point where we're going to be using to draw our armhole curve. So, and then you want to square out those lines. So at the bottom of the fabric, I'm going to be using 13 inches. So that 13 inches, I'm going to then connect it up all the way up to the 16-inch mark in a slant. So that will give it a shape going towards the bottom of the fabric. So just go ahead and do that. So now I'm just going to draw the underarm curve where the arm opening is. Just draw the underarm curve like so, and then the pattern will be ready to cut. So you just want to go ahead and add sewing allowance if you've not included that in your measurement. I have in mine, so add your sewing allowance and you're ready to cut out the pattern. Also, I'm going to be adding pockets to the dress, so I'm measuring 16 inches from the shoulder to mark where my pocket will go. So, and that's what I've just done right there. Alright, so the fabric, so the pattern is now cut out. I've got my 2 pattern pieces, the front and the back. So I've just made a notch there for where the pockets will go. So I'm going to separate out the front and the back, and then I'll make adjustments to the front pattern. So I've got my front pattern here all pinned and ready to go. So from this, for the center front, I'm going to be marking 8 inches down from the neckline, so which is going to be where I will cut the V shape of the neckline. So that's 8 inches or 9 inches, and then I'm going to be marking 2 inches all the way down, which I'm going to be cutting away from the center front. So yeah. So for the V shape of the top of the neckline, I'm going to make sure that I connect that to the width of the neckline, so that way I can cut off the entire 3 inches at the top there and then connect that to the 2 inches where the 8 inches point is. So I hope that makes sense, and just cut that off as well. Okay, so for the pocket pieces, I'm going to be using scraps. So I'm just going to draw around my palm to get the size of my pocket pieces. So I'm going to be using scraps of the leftover fabric. So now that I have my pocket pieces, I'm going to be attaching them to the dress. So making sure that right side is facing the right side where I've placed the notch, and then just sewing the pocket pieces to the 4 sides of the patterns. Alright, so the pocket pieces are now sewn into place. So now I'm gonna pin the shoulders and the sides to sew them. So for this one, I'm going to be sewing the shoulders and also down the sides around the pocket pieces, and then back down to finish the sewing. Okay, so now that the sides are sewn into place, so it's time to pay attention to the center front finishing. So from that, you want to measure from the center back and take that measurement all the way to the bottom of the dress to get the length of what you will need to finish off the center. You want to also add extra inches to that, so it's better to have more than to have not enough. I'm going to be using the contrasting fabric to finish it off. You don't have to. If you have the same fabric that you can use, that's fine. But I'm going to be using this black fabric to do that finishing. So I've got 2 identical pieces here. The width of the fabric is 6 inches, and this is what I'm going to be using to finish off that center front. So I'm gonna go ahead and just pin the 2 pieces together, and then start making the markings that I need on that. Okay, so on one end I'm gonna come down by 9 inches, and then I'm going to just put that measurement on the fabric like so, and then just square out the line. And then from the top, I'm going to measure what I want my slit to be, and then I'm going to also put that measurement on the fabric like so. So you want to measure from your shoulder to where your slit, as you want your slits to be, to have an accurate measurement. Then I find the middle point of the fabric and mark that on there like so. So starting from the 9 inches point to where the slit will end, I'm going to draw that line. So this is where I'm going to be sewing on the center line, and then I'm going to mark an inch at the top where I'm going to be joining the 2 fabrics together. So that's also going to be the center back of the neckline. So I'm going to be sewing at the top there, as you can see, and then start sewing from the middle, from where the 9 inch point is to where the slit will end. So the gap where you're not sewing should be able to fit around your head, so you might want to try it at this point to see if it fits. If it doesn't fit, then you need to make adjustments to where you're going to be sewing. So once everything is laid out and you know what's going where, you want to pin everything together. So you want to make sure that you start pinning from the center back of the garment and then the center back of the strip that you're going to be adding, to make sure that everything matches, and pin everything all the way around, and then you just want to sew that to finish up the front of the dress. So here I finished the center front of the Bubu, and then I'm just going to do a few finishing touches to it. So I'm going to cut up the excess fabric that I have there and also do the hemming. So once I finish the hemming, I'm also going to be adding the black to the sleeves as well. So I will add that to the sleeves, and then also add a few buttons to the center front to finish it off. So yeah, that's pretty much the tutorial, guys. Thank you so much for watching, and if you have enjoyed this tutorial and you found it to be very useful, please give me a thumbs up, and also ensure that you follow me if you haven't followed yet. So if you want to know how I did the covered buttons, let me know. I can drop a tutorial on that one, or even where I found the self-covered buttons from. So let me know in the comments section and I'll drop a quick video on how I did that.